Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to this video that I'm doing with Chad Ward, who just got funded, I believe, with TopStep for $50,000, right?
Yeah, 50 and 100K. So I got 150K total.
So one 50K account, one 100K account for a total of 150,000 in futures funding. So first of all, congratulations.
Thank
And
you.
secondly, how does that feel?
Oh, it feels good. I mean, I've been spinning the wheel for like 2 years, so it's definitely refreshing to actually finally be funded. Just I mean, it doesn't stop here, of course, because the job's not finished, but uh, you know, it feels good. But I think you just have to be careful and not be on that like euphoric high once you do it, because that's the easiest way. Like if you're trading from that standpoint, you could easily lose it. Just as well as you got it, you can lose it. So I just kind of try to keep that in perspective.
Yeah, some some level-headedness,
For
you
sure.
could say, where it's like, okay, I finally got something, and now that we're here, this is great, but we can't celebrate too much because there's still a
For sure.
lot of work to do,
Right.
right? So,
Right.
all right. So let's start off with, I guess, how long you've been trading. So, I mean, you just got funded recently,
Mhm.
and what made you want to get into funding? I mean, are you in year one, two? I mean, like, how long have you been trading altogether?
Yeah. So September of this year will make 2 official years of consistency, like just trading the markets like on a consistent basis, if you will. So I started trading because I wanted something new, and I got introduced to I Am Academy through a friend, but that didn't go so well because I guess what they were the people that I had as my leaders, so I guess you would say, um, they were really pushing the I guess like the marketing side, like networking, which wasn't bad. It's just that I got into the whole business model to just really learn how to trade and become a trader because that's what was pushed to me at first, but it just didn't, it just didn't end well. And that kind of, set the relationship on a rocky ground. So I kind of like lost like a best friend, if you will. So so that was that. But I just really wanted to interact with the market. I heard so much about it. I saw so many videos about it, so many YouTubes about it. So I just wanted to get in, figure out if it was for me. And here I am 2 years later. So still doing it.
Right, absolutely. So with the IM Academy, right? No
Mhm.
hate, no shade, at least in
For
this
sure, for
video.
sure, for sure.
You probably got introduced to Forex. So I'm
Right.
assuming you probably got started in, Forex, Euro USD, British pound,
Mhm.
the majors and stuff like that. So you're not Forex funded per se. You're funded with a futures prop firm. So I mean, what made you jump over into the future side?
So I was trading. So I never really traded personal capital on Forex. But I was always trying to get funded. So I got funded a few times with different prop firms like my Forex funds. They went under funding pips. I had like two 50, no, not 50K, two $5,000 accounts with them. But it just didn't work out in the way I wanted to. So I think the real thing why I made the switch to futures was because of just like the regulatory issues. I didn't want to like get funded with let's say I make 50, you get $50,000 account with somebody, and then next thing you know, 2 months down the road, the company goes under and they're no longer, available, right? So all the accounts that you got with them are just like gone.
Mhm.
So I really just wanted something that was a little bit more regulated, which you do get with futures. It's kind of hard to pull a fast one there. Not saying that it's impossible, but it's slim to none. So
Right. Yeah, so one thing that I do like about TopStep is that they have a long track record. I mean, they've been
right,
around for a while. And this video is not sponsored by TopStep or anything. They're not paying me to, say anything.
right,
But I've heard a lot of good things about TopStep. And another thing too is, Ryan Holiday talks about this when it comes to books. He's
right,
like, some of the best books stand the test of time, right? Where,
for
like,
sure.
say, Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, or some of these Stoic ideas that are thousands of years old. It's like, why are they still around? they're relevant and it's quality, right? So it's like
For
you
sure.
look for that longevity when it comes to either brokers or prop firms. I don't know how long TopStep's been around. I mean, I think easily over 10 years,
Yeah, it's like
probably.
12. I wouldn't say 12. It's like between 12 and 15. They've been around for a while.
Yeah, and the fact that they're based in the US is even better too, because
Right.
the US is heavily regulated, especially in like the finance industry, the stock market, brokers, things like that. So you made the transition from Forex to futures. I think futures are better. I prefer
Me
the
too.
indices. What is it that you trade?
So I trade right now. I only trade NQ or either the micro or the E mini. So um, I like NQ a little bit better, especially trading on like higher amount of when you call it to funding. So like 50K, 100K, you can, in and out. You can get in and out of a trade with efficiency, and that's what I really like about it the most. So I've looked at like Dow and the S&P 500. Haven't really try to trade them. I'm
Hmm.
just kind of like sticking to one asset right now. And then if I could figure out, okay, maybe looking at all indices, all three of them and seeing like, okay, which one is trading the best that particular day, what has the best setup, I'll probably get into that later on once I get a little bit more comfortable with all three.
Took me a long time to do that. Where, and I'm sure you've probably heard me talk about this before, where it's like there are traders who come out and say, "Oh, I only trade this or I only trade that, and it's for this reason or whatever." And it's like it's myopic because
Mm.
you don't realize, like, even in the world of relative strength, for example, it's like you might be trading ES, and then Nasdaq outperforms, and it's like, why didn't I trade Nasdaq? It's like, because you're a goober and you messed up, right? So
Mm.
one thing I enjoy about Nasdaq is, to me, when I'm trading it, it feels amplified, meaning like the moves on Nasdaq and the moves on ES, they might move together, right? But it's like ES, might make a $500 move, and then that same move on Nasdaq could be like $700 or $800, right? So it's
Right.
like, to me, it just feels more volatile, more amplified. I don't know if I don't, if that's the right word that I'm looking for, but yeah, Nasdaq can really either rip your face off,
Oh yeah.
or
If you're not careful.
yeah, or really do you well. I've
Yeah,
taken
for
some
sure.
really good trades. Some of the best trades I've ever taken were on Nasdaq, and of course the S&P. I trade ES the most, but sometimes Nasdaq, you get a good trade on NQ, and it's a wrap. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
makes you feel good, man, and all that. So, but anyways, moving on to, let's say, the struggles. So you've been trading for just about 2 years, give or take, and to me that's plenty of time to. I mean, that's 24 months, right? So you were able to look back and go, I've gone through this mistake over and over, or these couple of mistakes over and over, and you really learn more about yourself. Like for me, it's impatience, right? I'm still to this day somewhat of an impatient trader, right? So what have you learned about yourself as a trader, and what are some of the obstacles that you faced the last 2 years?
For sure. I would say I've already kind of known this about myself, but trading kind of amplified or I guess magnified the issue. So I've always been an impatient person. Like if I want something, I want it right now, right? Instant gratification, right? And I'm still, like I said, I'm still working on that. So I think trading amplified or magnified that, and I think psychology too. If you think about it, I had to learn how to lose, and I still struggle with learning how to lose and learning how to be okay with losing. I was a Division One wide receiver. So all my life training to become a Division One player, to try to make it to the NFL. My coaches drive um, pretty much like they always stress that it's all about winning. It's all about winning. It's all about winning. Now you interact with something like the financial markets. You have to understand that you're going to have to lose sometimes. You have to be okay with losing sometimes. So I think that's been the biggest struggle because I think right now where I am in my trading, I'm in like that break even stage, bro. I have like really good weeks, and then the very next week, I have like a really poor week, you know. So having big days and big weeks, and then the very next week, it just I don't know, something's not clicking. Maybe I overtrade a little bit one day. Maybe it's my emotions one day because I'm too emotionally attached to the one trade, and so I'm still dealing with the ins and outs of that. But I think it's like a little bit of everything. But I would say that I've grown a lot over these past 2 years to where I am now. So, it is what it is. And I just, take it one day at a time.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the old school ways of doing things, and
Mhm.
and I'm not trying to talk bad about your coaches or anything, but
Mhm.
they obviously had the best intentions, right? But even if somebody has good intentions, that doesn't mean that they're doing exactly what's best, So they might have driven that into athletes, young athletes, where it's like you got to win, you got to do whatever it takes or whatever, and at a certain point that might actually be wrong, and
Right.
it might not be the best to keep that mindset moving into other things. And I know Mark Douglas actually talked about this. I don't know if it was trading in the zone or disciplined trader or maybe both, but I know that he talked about how people from other professions like doctors and lawyers and other maybe real estate agents and stuff, people that are successful in other ventures, they come into trading thinking that, oh, well, I was successful over here, I can be successful in trading, and then they just get wrecked,
Hmm.
right? And it's like, well, yeah, because the same things or even the same mindset that got you success in one field doesn't exactly translate into the trading world. And
Right.
that's such a big wake up call, probably for everybody. You know what I mean? Where yeah, it's interesting just the way that this all works. Like say for example, the fact that more trading doesn't equate to more profit.
It
You
doesn't.
know, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
you could take one or two good trades a week, stop,
Hmm.
and then just walk away. I mean, I did that last week. I had like one or
Right.
two good trades, and then I think I missed. I had like I wanted the market to do something, and it didn't do it. And I missed a trade or something on Thursday or Friday, and then I was like, okay, well, this isn't a big. I'll just let it go. Right? It's not a big deal. And the old me would have wanted to get in late, or I would be mad about it or something. And I remember those were the times that's when you start to give it back.
Right.
That's when you start, to fall back into that trap. And so it took me a very, very long time. But yes, when you start to see that taking one or two, maybe three really good trades a week, that's all you really need. And that goes against the grind that we think works in the beginning. Oh, I'm going to look at charts all day, every day. I'm going to study every single day until I'm successful. And you end up trying so hard that you fail.
Right.
Right? You end up trying so hard that you get the result that you were actually trying to avoid.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I think you and I both, I think that's one thing, is like you got to learn trading for what it really is,
Hmm.
So on the topic of books, I mentioned Mark Douglas's Trading in the Zone and Disciplined Trader, and I'll link those down in the description for you guys if you haven't ever read either one of those books. You need to. As far as books go, whether it's trading related or not, are there any books that you've read over the years that helped you in your trading or even helped you in your personal life and your personal development?
Yeah, for sure. I would say Atomic Habits for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's a classic, and I would recommend, even if you're not a trader, you should definitely take a look at that book. I think that book kind of puts out the plan or the framework of building really good habits that kind of build upon one another. I would say a really good one. The Best Loser Wins by Tom Hugert is really good. It's filled with so many gems when it comes to like his journey as a trader. I mean, you're talking about a guy that's putting on like, 100 to almost $600 a point trading indices, right? So it's a really great trader. really gets you to think outside of the box when it comes to trading. Trying to think of another one. I think right now I'm reading Retire Young and Retire Rich by Robert Kiyosaki, just trying to gain some, nuggets there as far as concepts of how to really become an entrepreneur and be able to retire young, because I don't desire working 40 years for a
Amen.
company.
Yeah.
I'd rather just do something on my own and, make a crap ton of money doing it while also changing lives. So I think those would be the ones that kind of stick to me in my memory. I mean, I've tried, you know what? I read Discipline is Destiny. That's a good one. I think that's a classic that everybody should. I mean, it's not necessarily a classic, but it's going to be, because it's fairly new, but it's really going to be something, especially with Ryan Holiday and what he
Hmm.
does in his books. So I would say those would be the ones that stick out to my memory.
Atomic Habits by James Clear. The Best Loser Wins by Tom or Thomas Haggard.
Yeah, Tom, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I probably spelled that wrong, but I'll link it down in the description for you
for
guys so you can
sure.
see it. Retired Young by Robert Kiyosaki, and Discipline is Destiny by probably my favorite author, Ryan Holiday. So, yeah, Discipline is Destiny. That was the book that I gambled on with Book of the Month when I was still an educator for IM, and I was doing Book of the Month, and uh, Discipline's Destiny was supposed to come out, in a couple weeks, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna roll with that. I'm like, he hasn't put out a bad book yet, especially like on the Stoic Virtues series. I think that was his second one, and or maybe third. No, the third one's about to come out. This was the second one, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this one, for all of us, and hopefully it's good. And yeah, it ended up being a nice one. I haven't heard anything bad about Discipline's Destiny by Ryan Holiday. So his next one comes out, I think, in like 2 or 3 months. It's called Right Thing Right Now. And what's really cool is that if you go to his website, it's dailystoic.com, and if you go to the store, if you pre-order 5 copies of the signed ones, I think they're like $28 each. If you order 5 of the signed copies, you'll get a signed and numbered page of the original manuscript
Oh
of
wow.
Right Thing Right Now. So I don't think he ever did that to any of his previous books. So I did. I ordered 5 of them. So I'm getting 5 signed copies. I'm getting one for myself. I'll probably give the other 4 away, or my Christmas present or birthday present or something.
For
And then
sure.
because I really want that manuscript page.
Wow, that'd be dope.
Yeah, it's
That'd be
just
dope.
yeah, I really enjoy Ryan Holiday's work. Actually, sidebar, YouTube, sorry. I over the last couple of days I read Cal Newport's Deep Work, and I also read, I'm like 90% done with Perennial Seller by Ryan Holiday as well. So yeah, he's a great author, and I really like his work. So I'm really glad you brought up Discipline is Destiny. So
For sure.
all right, so you've been trading for 2 years. You got started in IM Academy, like the majority of my students. We talked about a little bit about impatience and some of the books that you've enjoyed reading. So I really just want to open up the floor to anything that you want to let people know. What if they want to get funded, right? Or
Mhm.
if they're on their journey, maybe they're 6 months or a year in or something, and are thinking about getting funded. What are some of the things that you want to let people know, and especially the Smart Money Stoics community? What do you want to let them know about getting funded?
Okay. So here's the thing. Getting funded is like one of those things. If you don't approach it the right way, it'll elude you. So like if you want it, like it's great to be ambitious and you want to get, oh, I want, because I hear everybody say it, and I used to talk like this too, like, oh, I'm going to be 1 million in funded. I'm going to be funded with multiple companies, this and that and the third. All right, that's great. All right, that's honorable that you're thinking big and outside of the box. But if you don't have a plan to get there, then you probably won't get there, because you won't necessarily know like what exactly you need to do in order to get to that expected end, right? So one, I'm big on planning. So what I encourage everybody to do, if you have an office space, and even if you don't have an office space, either have a whiteboard near your computer or something where you can literally write out your plans. Have it in a book or a notebook. You can have it there. You can have it on a whiteboard. And then if you don't have access, like to an office space, whether it's in your home or, something like at a commercial real estate place or anywhere, you could also have like a vision board. So you're always reminded about your goals, right? Because you want to have a framework of how to get there, right? So that's one thing. Number two, patience. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. And I've always had to tell myself that, not just with trading, but in life, right? I like to, so because I was an athlete, I try to relate these things, at least trading, to being an athlete. So let's use baseball for an example. Everyone in the Hall of Fame, right, are known for the home runs. But how many of those individuals in the Hall of Fame, like anyone talking about how many times they only got to first base or second base, or they had to set up some of their players to get on base, right? So that's how you have to treat trading. One thing, there was this guy, he was on a podcast and he was talking about, how, because I'm a spiritual guy. I believe in God and Jesus Christ, and I always have to,
Amen.
um, and I love promoting that, right? That's something
Right.
that's always a part of me. So I gotta promote it, right?
Hmm.
And what he was saying was like, a lot of times God has given us what we need for the journey, but we're trying to score touchdowns in one play. Why not try to get a first down? So a first down might be, okay, only taking 5 trades for the week. That's a first down. You might have lost all 5, but at least you stuck to the plan to only trade 5 times, right? So you go to the next week. Okay, I'm going to get a first down. I just need a first down. I need a first down. So that next first down could be, okay, out of those 5 trades that I take, I want to win 2 with at least R&R of 1 to 3. Okay, or 1 to 4, whatever it may be, but it has to be favorable so that if you do win those 2 trades, you end the week profitable. And then you just work that plan. Okay, what's the next thing? What would be considered your next first down? And lo and behold, what's going to happen is you're going to find yourself in the red zone, right on the 10-yard line. The touchdown is right there. The victory is right there. So just being able to just stack that momentum on top of each other, and then you'll end up, you know, getting over that mountain or getting over that obstacle. Um, and then I guess the last thing I would say is positive thinking, positive affirmations. I think that helps me a lot too as a trader, because sometimes when I have to watch myself because I'll be on stream and I'll say something like, I'll give you an example. It was, I think it was like either last Friday. I knew what I did wrong, missed the whole move, and I think I told myself, "Bro, you effing suck." That's what I said to myself. You effing suck, and I said it on stream, and I was like, "Whoa." I said, like, so because I like to use my streams. Sometimes I don't even post them. I just use them kind of like, because we call this thing called film study when I used to play sports. We used
Yep.
to watch film and all that stuff. So it's film study for me. So I'm listening to what words I'm saying, what concepts I'm, blurting out, how I'm talking to myself during the trade, before the trade, and after the trade, all that thing. So I'm trying to find these tendencies, and I said that, and I was like, whoa, that's not a part of what you're supposed to be speaking, because technically you're supposed to be speaking life. The words that come out of your mouth have power. So you got to be very careful, very careful. So I think that'll be another thing.
Yeah. No, I agree. When I was still an educator, for IM, actually, I started the majority of my streams with some affirmations. You know, I'm a patient trader, I'm a disciplined trader, and I don't remember the rest of them, but I know we did do that for a little while, and I wanted to do that. I don't do it like that for myself. You know, I don't wake up and go like, I'm this, I'm that. I just been doing this for so long. Like I just get right to it with my energy drink, of course, but I did that to sort of instill those ideas to the newer traders. You know what I
Right.
mean? So like I've been doing this for like 10 years now. And I think I was in year 8 or 9 when I was teaching. So I wanted to make sure like what's everything I can do, you know, as an educator to pass along to all of my students. And And I remember like the first probably 3 or 4 minutes of most of the streams were affirmations like that. So
For
hopefully
sure.
that would help instill some of those ideas into the younger traders. So hopefully it worked. I mean, I don't know, but I hope it helped out at least a few traders. But yeah, I think how you talk is very important. How you talk to yourself is very important, even if it's not what you say, because it could be your thoughts too. Right. That's one thing I love about Marcus Aurelius. When he had wrote to himself in Meditations, he said, the soul is dyed by the color of its thoughts, you
Wow.
know? And it's like it's just beautiful imagery, right? But it's true, when we think negative, everything else turns out to be negative, or we start to find the negative in everything. And it's the same inverted as well. If we choose to be happy, for example, I believe that people can choose to be happy. You can choose contentment. I believe that. And gratitude's a whole nother topic, but it's like if you look for the good things, you'll find the good things. So it's like even in your trading, you could take a losing trade, or even a series, like say you lose 2 or 3 times in a row, but you can still find good things in that. Like, did you follow your plan? Well, that's a good thing. I mean, did you
Mhm.
manage your risk accordingly? Well, that's a good thing. you know um is it the right day and time to be trading? Like, that's a good thing. Like, there
Right.
are good things in every situation, and it's your job to find that. And so, yeah, and that might even be a verse. What if you seek, you shall find, or something.
Knocking, knocking, it shall be open. If you seek, you shall find. Asking, it shall be given. Yeah.
All right.
So those are the main 3 points. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, no, that's really good. So hopefully for the viewers, for everybody listening, hopefully you got some value out of either what I said, or especially if something that Chad said, spoke to you. Make sure you guys are writing that down and really thinking about that. So if there's anything else that you want to let the stream know, I'll give the floor over to you for anything in closing, or if you have any questions for me, the floor is yours, man.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, like I said, man, it's just really about just understanding who you are as a trader, understanding your personality. That's going to play a part, especially with like depending on what asset you pick to choose to trade. You got to just figure out what type of trader you are. What's going to be your plan. I think if the more you know about yourself, the better you are, or the better you will become as a trader. And then just understand, like, it's going to happen. It's just about how you work the plan. And if you work it, and at the end of the day, you may not get, let's just say you don't get exactly what you want, but you get somewhere close to it. I think that's still a win. So just keeping that in perspective and keeping everything in perspective. And as John said, there's good in everything. You have to choose to see that good. So yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to be it, man. Thank you guys for being here. If you got some value, drop a like for me, drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think. And definitely be sure to follow Chad on his YouTube, his other social medias. I'll put them in the description down below. Chad, congrats again on being funded with the 100K and the 50K,
Yes, sir.
double funded. Thanks for being here, man.
For sure. Thank you.